93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Just got the brakes fixed on my car today.
You did? You haven't even left the office.
I didn't need to. I got a guy who picks up my car and drops it off when it's done.
Well, who's your guy?
Graham Tire. They have pickup and delivery service at all 5 of their Lincoln locations.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
All right, fellas, it's January. You're setting goals, you're hitting the gym, but have you checked what's going on inside the engine? At Advanced Medical Imaging, the Wellness Within program makes it easy. They have different levels of preventive scans so you can choose exactly what fits your health goals. From quick baseline checks to full body insights. It's simple, it's smart, and it's all about keeping you in top form before problems ever sneak up. And the best part, you don't need a doctor's order. Just call AMI to schedule and make this the year you put your health on the schedule.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You've got used to one segment of good takes in the morning, but now there's a full show of good takes at night. Welcome into Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket.
Well, it must be Monday, because you're seeing me, Nick Wyman, alongside Chris Raff, and Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. Week 2 of the Nick and Raff connection here. Raff, it looks like you made it back. No travel issues for you?
No, not too
Sound like
bad.
I
Canceled my flight yesterday because Chicago is getting a little bit of snow. So I got up at 4:00 this morning and made my way back to Alabama. However, this weekend was the best of times and the worst of times.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to the elephant in the room for you here in a second, but yes, I mean, the snow here wasn't terrible. I will say that. Like, I was here Saturday morning and the drive wasn't bad. You had to get here, obviously get going earlier and than you normally should, but it wasn't the worst snow I've driven in my lifetime, but it was still it was cold. I hate the cold. Absolutely hate it. I lived here my whole entire life, and I'd rather it be 100 degrees than it be feel like negative 28 degrees or whatever. I mean, it was worse in Minnesota. Austin made it back, so from Minnesota he went to the men's basketball game up there, but it's not a pretty time. I mean, we got lucky for the month of December and January, but the end of January into February is looking a little chilly down here.
Yeah, Friday night I was laughing. I walked outside and I was just like, oh my goodness, a little bit of snow coming down and that the wind was cutting a little bit. I was just like, man, that was ferocious. But then Saturday night came around, wasn't too bad. Went to the Remington Award ceremony on Saturday night. That was a really good time. I guess it was all a pretty great night until the very end of it. Logan Jones, the center for Iowa, went scorched earth on Nebraska football. So yeah, that was I mean, it was funny, but then in a way, it was like you wanted to come back and say something, but you really could not say anything, to make any type of comeback against him. He got the trophy. Talked about how I love Nebraska, how everybody treated him great while I was here, and we're thinking, okay, we're going to come out of this unscathed, and then he goes, yeah, I really do love coming to Nebraska. It seems like every time I come to Nebraska, I win a trophy.
I mean, he's not wrong for the most part.
And he goes, we got the Heroes Trophy over in Iowa, and it's been here for so long that it's going to probably have to start paying property taxes. It was a pretty decent little burn on Nebraska football, but like I said, there was really nothing we could really respond back with. But the Remington Award, I'll tell you what, that is such an amazing night for not just the centers of college football, but for college football in general. For what Dave Remington and the Remington staff have done over the last 26 years. They've raised over $5 million to fight cystic fibrosis. A lot of people know that Boomer Esiason's son Gunner was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when he was born. Just what they've done since Gunner's been born is just incredible. The life expectancy used to be maybe mid-20s. Now they've got it to a point to where the life expectancy is actually into the 60s. So what they've done for the fight against cystic fibrosis and the Boomer Esiason Foundation and the Dave Remington Award, it's just been incredible over the last 26 years. It was a really cool night. One of the highlights for me was Coach Brown was there. He always does the pre-dinner prayer every year. And then they had the 97 Missouri versus Nebraska football game, the Miracle in Missouri on.
Mm-hmm.
And got to watch a little bit of the fourth quarter with Coach Brown. It was pretty funny. I asked him, I'm like, Coach, can you remember the play calls? And so when I asked him that, every play he was given the play call. So it was pretty cool. And just the intensity and that he was watching that game. I will not name the player. A player missed a block on a play, and I really thought that Coach Brown was going to text him right then and there and let them know that they needed to make the block. So it was a super cool night.
Yeah, shifting gears, the NFL delivered, I would say, the championship weekend. I hate to rub salt in the wounds, but Denver was right there, man. They were right there with the Patriots. I mean, I felt, Jarrett Stidham had that pass early on to put him in the red zone, then threw a touchdown to Cortland. And I'm like, okay, this guy can sling it. This is what this is what everybody talked about all week. And then the weather came in, which is a part of the football. I don't like it how some teams are building domes. Like Denver's one of them. The Chiefs are one of them building domes. I like the weather aspect of football. It's an outdoor game. And it's not like it favored the Patriots. Patriots offense couldn't do anything either. They just got a field goal and took advantage of that and went from there. It was a football game, and it was a really old school style football game, and I like that.
Yeah, that game too. I think it felt like it was for the Broncos, being that I am partial to the Broncos. It was the best of times and the worst of times there also. I think it was the best of times for Sean Payton for the way he coached up Jarrett Stidham over the week. I mean, I'll be honest with you, when Bo Nix got injured and he came out in the press conference and said that Bo was done for the season, I was pretty deflated. I mean, I was like, man, it felt like, Denver had given up a legitimate chance to have a chance to make the Super Bowl. And by the time game time started, and the way the city and the way the fans and the people had jumped behind Jarrett Stidham, you went in thinking, okay, we got a pretty good shot at this. And for the most part, Jarrett Stidham, he acquitted himself nicely. I thought he played decent. I mean, he played kind of what I expected for a guy that hadn't, played for 2 years. He had his plays. Do I wish that Bo Nix would have been there? I really do think, with Bo Nix there, I think the result might have been different. However, at the end of the day, it was the worst of times for Sean Payton. You've got to kick the field goal. You're playing with a backup quarterback. You're 4th and 1. I understand that you're going for momentum to get the thought process of getting a 14-0 lead against the Patriots. But my thought process was, you go up 10-0 on the Patriots. I think they were going to have fits scoring against the Broncos defense, because if you look at the Broncos defense, they, played pretty much close to, other than letting Drake May run the ball. That was probably the one downfall of the Broncos defense, but everything else, Denver, locked down quite well on defense. So it was disappointing, but like I told a lot of people, I'm not sure what the Broncos playing, going up against the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. I'm not sure if that matchup would have been good for Stidham. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like, they kind of went as far as what, where they could have went. I mean, I look back on it, I feel like it was a opportunity missed, but it feels like this could be something that could, gel the Broncos for the years to come. Just kind of maybe that little bit of a chip on their shoulders, thinking, what could have been with, I mean, like I said, nothing against Jarrett Stidham, but at the end of the day, there's a reason why he's the backup quarterback and Bo Nix is the starting quarterback. I would have loved to seen that game with Bo Nix. I would have loved to seen Bo Nix play in the snow. I feel like Bo Nix is a little bit quicker than Jarrett Stidham, and I think that would have made a huge difference.
Stidham finished 17 of 31, 1 touchdown, 1 INT, and 133 yards. Drake May, 10 of 21 with 86 yards. I mean, not the most flashy game at all from quarterbacks. I mean, the Jarrett Stidham's turnover, the fumble that was returned to put the Patriots in position for a Drake May rushing touchdown, I felt was a very big momentum swing from that. I mean, everybody, not just you and me, but everybody else included, talked. Jarrett Stidham had to play clean and just, he did that for most of the time, but that one play just completely changed trajectory of the game. And then Denver's offense just couldn't get anything going on the run game when the snow came down. And I felt like Stidham was they just stopped letting him kind of throw the ball downfield. It was all screens and those were getting blown up. There was just nothing they really could do.
Yeah, and when he did throw passes, a couple passes downfield, he had a couple drops that hurt him where his receivers. But that has been kind of like the Achilles heel of the Broncos receivers this year. There was a lot of dropped balls, and also too, I'm taking the avenue of, I'm not going to be a Buffalo Bills fan on even the play where he threw the ball or tried to two-hand, or tried to get it out, on that screen pass where they said it went behind him. If you go back and look at that closely, I kind of looked like the ball kind of got deflected a little bit as he was doing that. So it was a lot closer. It kind of surprised me, the NFL this year. They're getting a little, almost liberal with instant replay. Like they're not taking like as long as what they used to. I guess they're kind of living up to what I've wanted it to be all along, to not sit there for 6 minutes trying to make a decision, but they're making these decisions, pretty on the fly pretty quickly. But that's definitely a play. If you go back and look at that, it sure looks like when he first releases it, that ball is going forward. But so be it. That's what happens. Like I said, that's a game of football. Congratulations to the Patriots. I mean, it's cool to see, Drake May being the second youngest quarterback to get a start in the Super Bowl, up to that one guy, Mr. Dan Marino from the University of Pittsburgh. So congratulations to the Patriots. And now they get a chance to go back and play against those Seattle Seahawks.
12th Super Bowl for the Patriots. And Ridge Lovett was in here earlier, one of Nebraska's legendary wrestlers. He's a Patriots fan, and he was talking. I'm like, man, those 5 years we had were so rough. I said, you had 2 decades of dominance. You could, I for the Browns fans, the Jets fans. I mean, the Broncos had a couple dark. I mean, after Peyton Manning walked out the door, you were stuck with Trevor Siemian and the Paxton Lynches of the world to try to help you out. As a Chiefs fan growing up, I remember like Brody Croyle and Tyler Thigpen being the quarterbacks I had to lead on. Well, they had Jamal Charles and Larry Johnson, who were top running backs in the league then. And the Patriots get 5 bad years, and it's like that was like the end of the world for them. They had 20 years of dominance with one guy at quarterback and a coach. Those guys leave for, Bill was there toward the end of it when Cam Newton and Jarrett Stidham were kind of the guys. And then 4-13 year with Gerard Mayo, and they get a guy, Mike Vrabel, who I'm still shocked the Titans got rid of him to this day, because that was just, look at the Titans now, and they're going to the Super Bowl. As a franchise that's been to the Super Bowl so many times in the past 25 years, 5 years for them felt like 40.
Yeah, I think that reminds me so much of Oklahoma back in the early 2000s when Josh Heupel was there and they won the national championship. But I remember that year. That was kind of the year where they kind of returned back to their greatness. I mean, they'd went probably 7 or 8 years where Oklahoma really wasn't in the eye of college football. I mean, they struggled. They were not a good football team. And I remember in 2001 when they got good again, it's like, oh, their fans like, we deserve this so much. We went through so much with the tough times. And I'm thinking back to myself, I'm like, you guys won like 4 college football championships over like a 10-year period or 12, or I think it was actually 3 in 10 years. I'm like, and you're applying for a national title almost every single year. You're taking it to Nebraska. And I remember thinking, I'm like, man, they went like 7, 8 years not being in the college football eye. And then thinking, Nebraska will always be that powerhouse. And then all of a sudden now we're going on like it feels like 20 years of not being in the college football public eye. So football's interesting. You got to enjoy it while you can. Like even the Broncos. I mean, it's crazy. Up until last year, they'd went 9 years without being in the playoffs.
Yeah, that probably felt like an eternity because the years before that, you had Peyton Manning carrying the load. You had the defense with Von Miller. You won a Super Bowl in that stretch, but then after that Super Bowl happened, we could have a trivia here. I think Brett Rippon started a game one point. The Kendall Hilton, they went through the Kendall Hilton, the one that when Drew Lock and all them were out with COVID. They had Kendall Hilton starting a game, a wide receiver. That was against the Saints. I remember seeing that.
Are you sure you're a Chiefs fan?
No, I just remember I watch the NFL. I watch the NFL. Like I watch every sport. You'll quickly learn that. I know a lot. Like Brett Rippon. I remember the Brett Rippon game. I remember because it was a Thursday night game against the Jets, I believe, during the COVID year. And it was like, man, this game is something else. Cause I was like, Sam Darnold was there and everybody thought Sam Darnold was the Jets. I mean, he was drafted as the Jets savior. He was one of the 5 guys, but no, I remember that. I've also seen like YouTube shorts of like, here's the guys Denver started over the years. I think Jeff Driscoll was on the roster at some point or something like that.
Nice, good pull.
I'm one of those guys who can tell you like, oh, this guy went to college here, and I don't know, like sports my life, man. You'll quickly learn that. There's some Denver quarterbacks there. Chad Kelly, I think, was there for a bit. I don't think he ever played. I just know me and Harrison off on a CFL tangent. Chad Kelly.
I was just gonna say that you totally impressed me last week. I think it was after my show on Thursday night. I was driving back and you guys started talking CFL, UFL, USFL. And I was just like, hello. I was like, the only thing that will totally impress me in my book is, have you ever watched Australian rules football?
I've seen it on TV. It's on like FS2 at like 2:00 in the morning. But no, I've never gone, man, I got to get to FS2 being, I'm half awake here on like a Saturday night. No, I have not. But I know that stuff's like crazy. Like the people who do that are like insane athletes.
Did you know Kenny Wilhite? He played in the CFL.
Did he really? I know I was talking about with Terrell Farley a couple weeks ago. Like, Kenny will be here tomorrow, I think, on Tuesday. I'll have to ask him. I know he did. The reason we brought up because Nori was in here as a guest on Emma Spence's show, and he talked about playing the CFL and the difference and how cold it was. And he mentioned how cold it was in BC. The BC Lions are the only indoor stadium at BC place. And he's like, it's still cold there. I was like, he can't be badmouth my team. The BC Lions are my team. He can't be badmouth my team. The only reason I like them is because I started watching around 2019. And that's when Nathan Rourke, he's from there and he kind of took over the realms. And then he tried his little NFL stint. He jumped around a couple practice squads and didn't work out. Now he's back there and he won the MVP of the league last year. So I was a big Nathan Rourke guy at Ohio too. So that's our little, and yeah, the CFL, I think it's dumb that they're trying to Americanize the game. I think it's, I like the 1 point rogue after a punt. I like the difference. It's different and it's during the summer. So if there's like, I'm a baseball guy too. I'm wearing my Royals stuff right now, but it changes the pace. It gets you through the summer, and then football. People are like, oh, football stops after the UFL starts March 27th. Then after Memorial Day, you got the CFL. There's football all the time. You just don't choose to watch it. That's how is it flashy sometimes? No, but there are some good players, some guys you say, oh yeah, I remember him in college. So that is our the CFL tangent I could get off on. But thinking of that, I talked about a guy earlier, Sam Darnold. Super Bowl quarterback, starting quarterback. If you would have told me that a couple of years ago when he was bouncing around the league with the Panthers and the Niners and how his Jets tenure ended, I would have called you crazy. Because in that draft class with Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, he's the one who's going to be starting a Super Bowl. I mean, who would have thought?
Yeah, if you had told me that he was going to make it to the Super Bowl before those guys and be the starting quarterback, like I could see him maybe being the backup quarterback for the 49ers or something like that. But to be the starting quarterback in the Super Bowl and get there before Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, that's incredible. But man, what he has done, just the way, I mean, face it, when he left the Jets, I mean, he was broken. I mean, it was, I don't know if it was so much broken, but he just didn't have the coaching. I don't think he had the support. And he went, he did his due diligence, getting a chance to, to be with the 49. I always look at like the 49ers, like you get a chance to go there. And then now going to Seattle, the way he had, the way he's returned back to prominence and just the confidence that he has. And man, I'll tell you what, it does not hurt having Jackson Smith and Jigba on your team either. That guy, he
catches everything.
Wow. I was super impressed because that's really like kind of the first time where I really sat down and watched, like, I guess I watched some of the 49ers game, but where I've really watched it and just seen, just how good he is. And it was really weird too, like Kenneth Walker, for instance, I felt like he hadn't been getting much talk, going towards the end of the season. Now that he's had like 3 games now where he's just went berserk. I mean, they have a heck of a 1-2-3 punch there on that offense.
Yeah. I mean, Zach Charbonnet was the other guy, but he's out for the year. I mean, you think that would take a hit. I mean, the offensive line, they could run the ball at will. Sam Darnold, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, Sam Darnold's going to turn into a pumpkin once the playoff starts. And that's kind of what he did last year when he was with the Vikings. 25 of 36, 3 touchdowns, 346 yards in the NFC Championship game, and probably the biggest game of his career before 2 weeks from yesterday. Jack Smith and Jigba, you name it, their defense, I think they did give up 27 points, but I just think they're the more complete team compared to the Patriots, even with Sam Darnold at quarterback, who, I mean, you mentioned it, he played a couple years with the Jets, 3 years with the Jets, didn't work out. Todd Bowles gets fired. Adam Gase steps in for, a little bit. Then he goes to Carolina with Baker Mayfield. I mean, those two guys crossed paths in a quarterback room for a bit. He was there for 2 years, goes to the 49ers. He was the backup during that Super Bowl, by the way, when the Chiefs beat the 49ers in overtime. So he has technicality. He has been to the Super Bowl. He's been
there twice before Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. But I'll tell you what.
See, yeah, you're right.
I'll tell you one thing though. With this Super Bowl, there's a lot of talk that Seattle's to lose. But I will say this about New England, and keep an eye on this, is their defensive line ate Denver's offensive line up. And Denver's offensive line were no slouches. You have 2 first-team All-Pros on that offensive line. And in New England, their line played, incredible yesterday. So I'm going to be interested to see if, hearing all that talk about Seattle, like they're the team to beat there, because it feels like right now, that's kind of like what it feels like right now, that it's Seattle's to lose. So it's going to be interesting to see what New England has in store for them, on that defensive front, because they can cause trouble. I mean, if there's, like we talked about Achilles heels, if there's an Achilles heel to Sam Darnold, if you put pressure on him, there's a chance that he could, revert back. But I think it'll be a fun Super Bowl. I don't know. I don't know. Would you rather have the Rams Patriots? I kind of Seattle, New England, just, I guess I told my Seattle friends is don't run the ball on the 1 yard line, or run the ball on the 1 yard line is what I told them. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think I told them pass the ball just because they're all being mean to me about my Broncos. So,
I had Rams Patriots, so I had to stick to it. I hopped on the Seahawks bandwagon because I think Sam Darnold is such an interesting story to get behind, because Baker Mayfield, he was talked up as maybe an MVP candidate first month into the season. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson are held up on these pedestals of top 5 quarterbacks in the league. and you have a guy who's played for 5 different franchises. After San Francisco, he was a backup there. He was the Kyle Shanahan School of Quarterbacks, which he did play a little bit there, but not a lot. But Kyle Shanahan, something, Mac Jones is there this year, and Mac Jones helped him get a ton of wins while Brock Purdy was sidelined. The Kyle Shanahan School of Quarterbacks. Like, he may not have a Super Bowl win, but you learn something there as a quarterback. Then he goes to the Vikings, which Kevin O'Connell, another underrated coach in my opinion.
Yep.
He goes there and gets him to like one of the best seasons in franchise history, obviously losing the playoffs. Then the Vikings make the decision to, they put so much stock in the JJ McCarthy that they're like, sorry, thank you for the year. This might have been a fluke, though. I think that's kind of how they thought. Sam Darnold goes and signs with Seattle. Seattle takes a risk because, like, a lot of people thought it was just kind of a fluky season. Like, that's your one-hit wonder season. You were in Minnesota. Minnesota's had years where they haven't had a quarterback, but they've had good defense and a good running back and everything. Like, I think Christian Ponder is the first name that steps into my mind. Obviously, he's a lot worse than Sam Darnold. And he had Adrian Peterson, who was like probably a top running back of maybe my lifetime. But he goes to Seattle and he turned the ball over a lot. He had 14 interceptions this year, but they won games and they lean on the running game. They have a good running game. They have great wide receivers. I mean, if you would have told me Seattle would go to the Super Bowl, I still would have called you crazy because they lose DK Metcalf. He goes to the Steelers, bring in Sam Darnold. It seems like you're in a division that's like the 49ers, the Rams are always going to be competing. And then there's the Cardinals. But then to make that step with Mike McDonald and be there is crazy. And now you have the rematch from the famous 2015 Super Bowl, which I remember there was I was in high school at the time, and we had a snow day. So I was like, yes, we don't have school the day after the Super Bowl or something like that.
And you partied?
I think I was at a friend's house, so I couldn't go anywhere because it was like there was snow. I think we tried and like we kind of like we're like, yeah, there's no way I trust myself to go in this. And we were like, yeah, we watched the Super Bowl. I think we ordered like Pizza Hut or something like that or something. I don't remember what we did. We had pizza, I remember, because we were there. And then we were like, wow, that game was nuts. Like, it was one of my favorite Super Bowls to watch as a viewer. I had no rooting interest. I think I preferred the Seahawks at the time just because I was tired of seeing the Tom Brady Patriots dynasty like everybody else. But it was an awesome viewer experience. And that was a talking point it still is to this day.
So we were a lot alike back then because I remember that Super Bowl as well. I was in Las Vegas and I was at I believe the Budweiser corporate was having their Super Bowl party at the Hard Rock, and somehow I was able to get inside there. And I remember that the screen was like a 4-story television screen with the game on it. So yeah, it was a lot alike. We both were kind of partying.
A little bit. I mean, if you're saying I was like 16 at the time eating Pizza Hut with the boys in a snowstorm, it's a little different than the word party than being in Vegas. I guess that's what Vegas might feel like for the 16-year-old high school kid eating pizza with the boys. I don't know. But yeah, that's Super Bowl. Before we move on and go to break, I mean, first impressions. I mean, you said it's not going to be. I think it's going to be a close game. Like I think Seattle's got the edge just because I think they have the most. They're the hottest team right now, and that's how sports work. You're hot, you're rolling. Because they outclassed the 49ers. I thought that was a game maybe they don't show up for, but they from the opening kickoff, took advantage. And then
I was just going to say, I'm also interested to see what the fan takeover is, because you know how the Super Bowls became so corporate with tickets and stuff like that. But those 12s are a rowdy, rambunctious group. So it's going to be interesting to see how they infiltrate the corporate ticket wise to see if they overtake the stadium. Because if you recall back to the second to the last time that they played in the Super Bowl against the Broncos, their fans infiltrated the Meadowlands there. And when Peyton Manning came out for the first snap of the game, when they snapped it over his head and it was a safety and all that stuff, it was Peyton Manning and the Broncos did not realize that it would be such a pro Seattle crowd. And so it'll be interesting to see if the Seahawks do that again, being with Super Bowl being in Santa Clara, even closer this time, to see how those 12s infiltrate that crowd.
So I was looking last night. I think the cheapest ticket is like a little over $5,500. So that's Super Bowl money though. It's a Super Bowl. It's kind of like the national championship. The national championship was the same way for college football. It's expensive. When you go to a game, I mean, it's one game that you probably save up for the whole year and hopefully, or I don't know, I don't know how you spend your money, but that's one way to spend it right there. Super Bowl. And if your team makes it and you're a diehard fan, go for it. So we're going to take a break here. Raff's Good Take on Sports. Nick Wyman, Chris Raff. We'll be right back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Way up there where the sun comes up under the big red sky. I do life the way I love, with family by my side. I feel home with me, no matter where I go.
Proud of where we're from, excited for where we're going. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Change begins with you. Join a weight loss medication study at Solarion and earn cash in the process. If you are 19 to 65 years old with excess weight to lose, you may qualify. Participants could earn up to $22,750 for their time. Study includes 1 2-night stay, 1 3-night stay, and 38 returns. Learn more at helpresearch.com/flamingo or call 866-213-2965. Weight loss not guaranteed.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to the Spring Equipment and Technology Clinic February 3rd through the 5th at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney. New this year, the planter and sprayer clinics are combined into one streamlined, hands-on event built around growers' time and needs. Get expert training on John Deere planters and sprayers on topics including maintenance, technology, and autonomy. Don't miss it. February 3rd through the 5th in Kearney. Visit landmarkimp.com/events for details.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread's Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings, thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney location. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Just got new tires put on my car today.
You did? I did see you leave the office.
I didn't need to. Graham Tire picked up my car this morning and dropped it back off and they were done.
You're kidding. How'd you get that kind of service?
That's just what they do at Graham Tire.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio, video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome back. Raff's Good Take on Sports. Nick Wyman pressing the buttons back here in the studio. Chris Raff made it back home. We just got done talking about the NFL playoffs, which is another exciting weekend. There's a pretty exciting sporting event here in under 24 hours coming up here in, not here in Nebraska, but for Nebraska up in Ann Arbor, as Nebraska is now ranked number 5 in the nation. I mean, program history continues to be made, and they continue to defy the odds as something that's never happened before and continue to reach boundaries that have never been reached. Crazy.
Yeah, it is wild. And you know what's crazy? The thing I saw today that was just even more incredible was it is the highest ranked team in the state of Nebraska.
Yep, even Creighton. Creighton was number 7.
Yeah, I thought Creighton at one point had got, up into like that top 2, top 3 range, but I guess I was wrong. But that is crazy. And that's just got to gnaw at Creighton a little bit too. Just being the way that they had dominated basketball for so many years in the state of Nebraska. And then here Nebraska is number 5 in the country. Looking back on the game against Minnesota this past weekend, man, Nebraska shows me so much to where they are so scrappy, like being down the way they were at halftime, struggling a little bit shooting the 3-pointer, and the way they stormed out in the second half. I mean, yes, Coach Hoiberg got a little upset with them at halftime, but man, I'll tell you what, they were impressive in that second half, the way they come storming back and, win the game going away. And that is not an easy place to play in the barn in Minnesota. So, big congratulations to them on that victory. Too bad that they had to stay at the arena for like another 3 hours or whatever after the game. I don't know if you saw any of those videos, but that was kind of funny. I'm just sitting.
Yeah, I saw Connor Sejan's video where they pick up a road win down at half, come out and just dominate the second half. Then game gets over. You're like, all right, let's get on the flight and get back home. The weather's not great. No, they had to stick around. It sounds like 2 or 3 hours after the fact inside the arena, which is, I mean, that just is so, I mean, there's only so much you can do as a road team. You're in the arena, it's basketball, but it's like you just got done playing a hard fought win, a conference win. Like you just kind of just want to chill and just get out of there and get back home before weather strikes again.
What are you looking for tomorrow night? You think Nebraska goes in and gets the victory, or do you think a lot of people are talking about why am I forgetting his name? Be better, Chris. The Southwest guy.
Frager. He's a game time decision.
Yeah.
Braden Frager is a game time decision per the Huskers. I don't think you rush him back. If he's not 100%, the season is not defined at January 27th, 2026. This is another test for the Huskers. We thought everyone was like, oh, the Michigan State game is going to be Nebraska's biggest game in school history. And all of a sudden, here we are. This is the game everybody's kind of been chopping at the bit for weeks. I feel like it's like, oh, if we win this game. It's like, wait, we still got like 3 more weeks until Ann Arbor and Michigan. And now here we are. Nebraska's 20-0, undefeated, top 5, ranked number 5, playing number 3, Michigan. I think if Frager is, he'd have to be 100%, in my opinion, because they showed me on Saturday they have guys who can step up. Like you mentioned, Price Stanford had 2 points at halftime. Sam Hoiberg had 14 in the first half, and that's all he scored in the game. Minnesota made 9 threes in the first half and didn't make a single one in the second half. I mean, Nebraska just made adjustments, and I think Fred Hoiberg trusts his guys. Like Jared Garcia is going to have to come in and play valuable minutes. Akale Jacobson is going to have to come in and play big a big role off the bench. It's going to have to be a starter heavy. If Frager's not there, starters are going to have to play a heavy role, and they have this year. I saw a stat here. I had it pulled up. Where'd it go? The magic number, 54.4. That's Nebraska's top 4 scorers. Rink Mast, Price Stanford, Braden Frager, obviously, and Jamarcus Lawrence are combining for 54.4 points per game. And none of the 4 guys I just mentioned were in the starting lineup a year ago.
Yeah, that's
Frager's a he's Big Ten Freshman of the Year candidate, but having him, I don't think you risk it, because if he gets hurt again, you still have the month of February and March to look on. Your season's not like, are they going to go undefeated? I don't think so. It's hard to accomplish in college basketball, hard to accomplish in sports in general. I think you play it close. And if it's a close loss, you can learn some things. I think even if they do take a loss, I think you can learn something from it, because, you get a loss on your schedule. Oh, well, so be it. What's next? And then you have, obviously, Illinois on Sunday at home.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't think you rush them back. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think you want to aggravate it either. So if it's still lingering, and like, we don't want this to be something that's going to linger on and on. So if they have the opportunity, to rest him tomorrow night, and like you said, it's not the end of the world. If they do lose, you can learn. And plus it adds on to, like, if they get another shot at them in the Big Ten tournament or something like that, we're like, oh, guess what? Now we got to, they got that in their minds. It's like, now we got Frager. So, things could be different. Heck, and like you said, even without Frager, I think Nebraska will probably give Michigan everything they want tomorrow night, just for the team that they are. And if, Price Sanford, if he gets hot again, I mean, that was crazy in the second half of that game. They had 2 points in the first half and then just went berserk in the second half. So, and then I still think, we're still looking for like a really big game out of Rink Mast. I mean, he is not, he's not had to, but I think we're still due for, a Rink Mast scoring explosion here coming up here soon. So it's going to be a fun game to watch tomorrow night. I'm excited to see. And I really think if Nebraska is able to carry a victory at Michigan, you're really going to see the nation take notice of Nebraska basketball. Right now, I feel like there's people starting to take notice, but then I think there's still some resistance going, well, it is Nebraska. But if they can go into Ann Arbor and get a victory in Ann Arbor, you're going to see the basketball world. I know I saw today that Dick Vitale had Price Sanford as his player of the week. So that was pretty cool to see. So you're going to see, I think, the rest of the nation start to jump on that Nebraska basketball bandwagon. So
I do feel that too, where there's still some doubt. I think some people had them as a number 1 seed in your bracket if the season ended today, but there's also some still who think, they're going to make a big excuse that, they struggled to beat Indiana, but they won that game. They struggled to beat Ohio State. But it's like, those teams, I thought Minnesota was a better team than what the record showed. I looked at some, they're on like a 5-game skid right now. And some of those losses were like 3-point losses, a single-digit loss. They had an overtime game with Ohio State. So, they're 10-10 as standing right now for the Gophers, but I thought they were a much better team than what the record shows. Then, it wasn't just some walkover game where Nebraska was sleepwalking. It did feel like an 11 a.m. tip, though, in the first half a little bit, where both teams were kind of feeling each other out and trying to get some momentum. But it's a big week for Michigan, too. Michigan's not only got Nebraska tomorrow on the 27th, but they got at Michigan State on the 30th. So it's a big week for the Wolverines. And, you're game planning for Michigan State. That's a rival. Maybe they overlook Nebraska. I don't know. But they're a really well-coached team. Michigan basketball is a brand in itself. So if Nebraska can go up there to Ann Arbor and be the second team to hand them a loss this year, would be incredible. Because Wisconsin had to go in there and they had to shoot lights out that one day when they beat them 91-88. In that game, I have it pulled up here, Wisconsin made 15 threes, 15 for 33. They shot 45% from 3. I think Michigan's a really big team, like size-wise, to Nebraska. That could be a matchup nightmare. But if Nebraska can trust the 3 ball, get some looks for Price and guys, I think it's a winnable game. I think it's a winnable game. I trust the philosophy of Fred Hoiberg right now. Like, they're on so much of a high, so much momentum. I think, you look at the spread or whatever, or what the experts think. I think it's, games aren't played on paper. They're played in the gym, and Nebraska's proven that time and time again.
Yep. I think he's got I think he's got that coaching ammunition too, that he can go like, hey, everybody's going with Michigan. They think they're gonna jump all over you guys tonight in Ann Arbor, and you get that team fired up, and that's kind of the ammo that team plays. I think it's best basketballs when people don't think they're going to, play well or win or all the things that they're doing right now. So I am, but I will be honest with you. If they do lose, it will be interesting to see, how the rankings, impact. Like these other teams, lose a game and they drop maybe 1 or 2 slots, and you'll see like the respect that Nebraska has if they happen to lose at Michigan and then they drop like 4 or 5 spots, and that'd be very disrespectful. But then on another angle of it, if that does happen, I kind of like that, because I think that just builds more of a fire for Nebraska basketball, because like I said, nothing's better for not just basketball teams, but football teams, whatever, is that disrespect card. When a team feels that it's being disrespected, I think that's when you get the best out of these teams.
So since March 1st, 2022, the Huskers are 11-11 in the last 22 games against ranked teams, including 5-2 against top 10 teams. So Nebraska, that's dating back to 2022. That is a long time ago in retrospect. Prior to that stretch, Nebraska had lost 24 straight ranked teams dating back to the 2019 Big Ten tournament. So
thought you were reading the Nebraska football against top 25.
It sounds very similar, right? But this team has been able to turn around and figure, like, since 2022, has every year been, like this? No. There's been years where Nebraska's scratched the surface of the NCAA tournament, and they've made it there with Tominaga, but that ended in A&M loss. Other than that, it's like, NIT last year, college basketball crown, but they were stepping stones to what built up to this. And the college basketball crown, I continue to look back, I think that was a huge marker on this team, because you got guys like Cale Jacobson who got a chance to play in that. And now they have 20, they lost 24 straight games against ranked team. Nebraska being a ranked team was almost an afterthought, less than 10 years ago. Now it's like you're playing the marquee game in the nation against Michigan. I mean, it is unfathomable how quickly that happened, and how Fred Hoiberg and this team has just taken the college basketball world by storm. Like you said, I still think there are doubters there, but when you're in the same name as Arizona, Miami, Ohio also being, but you're Duke's ahead of you. Duke is 1 spot ahead of Nebraska basketball. That is a crazy situation, just because Duke is Duke, and they always are going to be in the top 10. Like, no matter what. There was 1 year I think they were bad in the last, they didn't make the tournament, but every year it feels like Duke's up there. Nebraska can put themselves in the same sentence as them, and I'm excited for tomorrow. It's an early tip. It's not an 8 o'clock tip. I'm not a fan of the 8 o'clock tips. I will say that. I get it. Nebraska is the West Coast of the Big Ten, but it's a 6 o'clock tip, I believe. So it should be a fun one. I know Nick Sainer made the trip up there to Ann Arbor. He's going to be up there covering the game. So going to be cold, but I'm excited. I think if you take anything away from that game, Raff, I think even if it's close and you lose, I think you can build something off that and bring that back to Lincoln, because then you turn to Sunday and you have Illinois. And that Illinois team is going to want revenge after what happened a couple weeks ago up there. And it'll be interesting, because beating a team twice like that is hard. They're pretty good basketball. They just beat Purdue, which is crazy. So I guess, what are your final thoughts before tomorrow night's game? Because you'll be, I think you'll be on tomorrow night. I think after the fact, well, pretty much after post game. I think
it'll be close. We'll see how it all works out. But yeah, I'll tell you what. The one thing too that this has never happened for basketball too, is like getting players and recruiting and stuff like that. I mean, Nebraska's never been in this spot before, so I'd be interested to see if those phones are ringing a little bit more, and just what happens with this. Like I continually say, like you can get decent players. Yeah, I know the money factor and stuff like that, but when you start winning, that's when those top tier players really want the opportunity to come play at a top tier team, plus able to make some good money at it. It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out for Nebraska in the long run.
Look at Indiana. Look at Indiana football. That happened, and look where they might be. The sky's the limit for them now. So we'll be back for the final segment. Raff's good take on sports. Nick Wyman, Chris Raff. We'll be right back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale.
so you can choose the best vehicle for you. Right now at Anderson Ford, lease a 2025 Ford Escape for $222 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 4003618. Lease for $222 per month for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 5,000 plus first payment due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Plus take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 2226.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hey guys, it's Carly from Boyk Farm Outfitters. With the holidays behind us, our team is already looking ahead to the 2026 season. And to help you get ready, we're hosting our second annual expo at our location near Exeter, January 27th. The expo covers 8 topics that matter to your farm. We'll discuss fungicides in heavy disease environments, liquid systems for your planter and how to choose the right one, how Washington is viewing important ag topics, and much more. Don't forget to stick around afterwards for the happy hour. Check out BoykFarmOutfitters.com for more info, and we'll see you there.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome back to Raff's Good Take on Sports. Nick Wyman in 93.7 The Ticket Studio. Chris Raff. Raff, you might have some of the best rejoin music in on the studio. I really enjoy it. It's catchy. They're a banger, as the kids say. We're here at 9 o'clock at night. I enjoy the rejoin music. I don't know. I have to let it sink in.
Well, I like to hear that. That's great. You know, you gotta have good grab music to grab the attention of all the listeners and the viewers. So
I like it. When I first heard it, I was like, I like this. This is a vibe, and I think you clearly match the vibe. So here we are at 9:52 on a Monday night. Raff, what's a good take for you? Let's wrap it up here. We'll do that, and we'll talk a little bit of sports before we go. But what's a good take?
all right, everybody. Today's Raff's Good Take goes out to my nephew, John Andrew. I turned 10 years old today. John Andrew is a baseball savant. I mean, at 10 years old now, just the knowledge of the game, not only the history of the game, like you ask him about Sandy Koufax, Jackie Robinson, Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, anybody like that. He'll be able to tell you all the statistics, how many home runs they hit, what their ERAs were. And then you take that and then his knowledge of playing the game of baseball and the nuances there. He's a catcher for his little league team, just doing amazing things, just a great person, growing up to become just a great young man. So John Andrew, happy birthday. You are Raff's Good Take.
You said he's 10.
10 years old.
10 years old, and he loves the game of baseball. What's his favorite team?
The Houston Astros.
Oh, I can forgive him for that. I mean, they were good. I mean, I could see growing up as they have the cool orange colors. I could see it.
Well, he's going through a little bit of a battle this year, though. His favorite player is Kyle Tucker, and yeah. So with Kyle Tucker going to the Dodgers now, there's rumor that there will be a jersey number change happening. So yeah, he don't stand for that. He was okay with them going to the Cubs. But yeah, the Dodgers, not so much. So we could have a new favorite player on the horizon for John Andrews. So we shall see.
Yeah, I mean, the Astros always competitive. They're always a competitive franchise. Still, after they got rid of the cheating scandal or whatever, the trash cans is kind of behind them. They've kind of turned that page. Not a lot of people from that are still around.
Do you know? Did Jake Myers? Is he still with them this year, or did he sign somewhere else?
I think he is still there. He's been an outfielder for a while. Former Husker. He's been there for quite some time. Honestly, he came up through the system. I think is it Bryce? What's it called?
Yep.
Bryce Matthews. Bryce Matthews is in their system still, I believe, too. And
I think he's in the bigs this year, I believe. So
he made his major league debut. So that's also another reason probably why he's been connected to him if he knew anything about Nebraska sports, and now he's got two Huskers there cheering for him. But that's kind of cool. I mean, if he's a catcher, I mean, usually a lot of catchers turn into coaches in the future. So, hey, I mean, if he's playing, if he ends up that, he can go into coaching, because a lot of catchers, like as a Royals fan, Mike Matheny was a coach for a bit, and he was a catcher, and he was around. Not a great coach for the Royal manager, but he was around.
I think he wants to be like an Air Force pilot too. So I think the future will be bright for him in whatever avenue he still desires. You know, he could be, playing catcher for the Astros before, heck, crazy to think, but in like the next 10 years. So we shall see what happens.
Air Force pilot, that is above me. I could never do that. I could never fly a plane. I'll say that. I that's above my pay grade. I am not a pilot whatsoever. I could probably never do that. Too many buttons. There are buttons in front of me, but it's nothing like I'm flying a plane.
I've seen this kid solve the Rubik's Cube in about 15 seconds.
Okay, this guy's a jack of all trades now. He may have to be on one of these times. You're gonna have him on. We're gonna have to have him stream in. I mean, it's a little late. I mean, school night, we'll have to do it on a night. Like, then again, me and Harrison did the post game for the Washington game. I don't know if you saw it. We had a 9-year-old call in.
I heard that. Call of the day.
We were sitting here and we're like, oh, we got some callers. We might as well take them. They're driving the show. And all of a sudden, the guy's like, hey, I'm 9. We're like, uh-oh, what are we doing? What is this guy about to say? And then he just wanted to say, go Big Red, it was probably my favorite part of the week last week. It was awesome. Like, that's awesome. His dad's a season ticket holder, so he's been able to experience the Nebraska basketball horizon, basically. It's awesome to see. So we're going to get out of here. Well, Raff's going to get out of here. I'm going to be here for another 2 hours, so you're locked in on this Monday night. So this has been Raff's Good Take on Sports. Raff, thanks for talking. You'll be here with Harrison tomorrow. Signing off here, Raff's Good Taking Sports. Nick Wyman, Chris Raff. I'll see you guys in a little bit here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized.